Welcome to the Golf Report podcast. Today I'm joined by professional golfer Aneka Seumanutafa. How are you doing today?
I'm
Annika?
doing great. Thank you so
Good.
much for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure many people, pronounce your last name Seumanutafa, but it's Seumanutafa.
Yeah, it's Seiyu Manutafa.
Manutafa. Okay. I got the Seiyu right, but not the Manu part right.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
okay.
yeah, so, we're in the winter right now. I know, in December, you went to, Ladies European Tour, Q School in Morocco. So, how are things going? Where do you spend, your winters mostly these days?
Yeah, been spending a lot of time here in Maryland. Been
Okay.
practicing a lot. I haven't gone down south yet, but it actually just snowed today. So, been practicing indoors, but most of my time just on the golf course. And then a lot of my times after golf, I come home and I have two dogs and a bird,
Mhm.
so that kind of fills the time too. So
Nice. So yeah, you're a professional golfer, why do you choose to stay in Maryland, dealing with the winters and, in Maryland, do you mostly just practice indoors or what do you do during the winter in Maryland, for golf?
yeah, yeah. So actually, I have a indoor driving range that
Okay.
my dad built for me when we moved to Maryland, just because he knew that the winters would be bad. So I have a hitting bay, and I can hit right into the net, and it gives me time to practice when it's cold and snow outside. So a lot
Nice.
of my time is spent in there if it's really cold, and I have a putting mat that I use just to get in reps with putting as well.
Nice. So December, as we talked about, you just went to LATQ school in Morocco. So
Mhm.
pre-qualifier, you shot 11 under and you earned medalist honors. So that's pretty cool. Congrats on that. So
Thank
what
you.
did it mean to you to earn medalist honors, LAT Q school, pre-qualifier in December, shooting 11 under?
Yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence after playing in that event, going into the next week to the final qualifier.
Mhm.
It just kind of just gave me the boost of confidence knowing that my game is headed in the right direction. After months of practicing in the summer and then heading overseas, I wasn't sure like how I would perform
Mhm.
during that week, but definitely boost of confidence going into next week and overcoming a lot of obstacles during the summer. And yeah, it was fun to go overseas and shoot 11 under.
Nice. Congrats. So after, earning medalist honors in the pre-qualifier, you went on to final qualifying for LAT.
Mhm.
You made the cut for round four in final qualifying. Tell me, final round didn't go the way you would have liked, shot
Mhm.
81. So, just tell me, what was it like to, make the cut for round four and also, unfortunately you shot an 81 in the final round. What did you learn about yourself and your game, shooting that final round,
Yeah.
81?
Yeah, for sure. So after shooting that round,
Hmm.
mentally I was not in the best place.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, one of my family members passed away. So
Okay, sorry.
um no, you're fine. But I've learned a lot from that experience and learning mentally like where I have to be during competition. So worked a lot on my mental side of the game as well, besides just focusing more on the physical part aspect of it. Um, but yeah, I learned a lot about my mental side and learning how to compartmentalize specific things during a, a round like that.
Nice. So yeah, unfortunately, the final round didn't go the way you would have, hoped, but you did, play 4 rounds on, final qualifying. So tell me about earning, you earned a category 19 status on the LAT tour, remaining final qualifiers. So, tell me where will you be playing in 2024 and just tell me about, the exempt status you earned on the LAT tour.
Yeah. So remaining qualifiers category 19, you are able to sign up for LAT events.
Hmm.
Um, so I did sign up for a couple events, which will be in Australia. Hoping
Okay.
to get into that field. But I also signed up for LAT Access, which is kind of like an Epson tour
Okay.
for the LAT. Signed up for a couple of those events, which will be in England. So I'm definitely playing in those. But the qualifier, again, like I said, with the 81 shooting not the best,
Mhm.
it put me in a spot where I'm not fully exempt into the LET, but I do
Yeah.
have status to play in some of their events. I'm not like fully exempted into playing all of their events, but there are a couple tournaments that I can play in if I write like a sponsor exemption. But it just depends on which tournaments I'm going to sign up for.
Nice. Well, hopefully you can get into a few tournaments.
Mhm.
So I'm interested to know, why did you choose to, try to play on the LET tour, play internationally rather than, go to like, LPGAQ school and, try to get on, Epson tour and things like that, why are you trying to
Yeah,
play internationally rather than, stay, you know, in America and, play on, the American tours?
I just wanted to go for the experience.
Okay.
I know playing in the United States is like really like, kind of home to me. So I wanted to like expand where I play golf and the different like cultures and aspects of golf overseas than just staying at home. I did have a little discrepancy with the LPGA.
Okay.
Um, but beside that, I really wanted to go overseas and see how it was to play on the LET tour. And it's pretty much the same level as competition as the LPGA. Um, but yeah, I was really going for the experience and just to travel overseas instead of staying in the US and knowing that I've traveled to Morocco already. That's
Hmm.
like the best, that's the coolest thing ever that I could get to say that I went to Morocco.
Nice. Something else that's cool in your bio, it says that you represent Samoa. So, tell me, are you Samoan? Tell me about the origin of your last name, Seumanutafa, and just tell me, where's your family originally from?
Yeah, so my mom's side of the family is from Hawaii. Everyone
Hmm.
was born and raised. I was born and raised in Hawaii. My dad's side of the family is from Samoa. There's an American Samoa and a Western Samoa. So
Okay.
American Samoa is very like colonized. It's a part of Australia, the US. What I don't want to get into that, but
Mm.
Western Samoa is very it's not colonized yet. They still have chiefs. They're run by a monarchy. So my dad is from Western Samoa,
Okay.
and the name Seumanutafa
Hmm.
is a high chief name in Samoa.
Okay.
So the lineage goes back a long time, and just Samoa is also like a part of me. I'm Hawaiian, Samoan, German, Chinese.
Okay.
Um, Polynesian culture is very much a part of my life. And I know Hawaii is where I'm from, born and raised, but representing where my dad is from, which is also a part of me, was what I wanted to do.
Nice. That's awesome. So, we'll just get into, where you grew up and, how you got into the game. So, you grew up in West Oahu, Hawaii until you were 13. When you were 13, you moved to Maryland. So, tell me about growing up in Hawaii, moving to Maryland when you were 13. Just tell me, how difficult was the move for you, moving from Hawaii to Maryland.
Yeah, so like you said, born and raised in Hawaii on the west side.
Hmm.
I lived most of my life in Kapolei
Okay.
and Nanakuli. Nanakuli is where my grandparents live now. Um, my entire family still lives there. And I grew up playing with Alison Corpuz, Mario Galdiano, Malia Nam. Like all of us grew up playing in Hawaii, playing in Hawaii State Junior Golf Association, Oahu Junior Golf Association. It was kind of cool just to see like everyone grow up from junior golf to college and now to professional golf. We all knew each other growing up playing in those different associations. But it was kind of hard to move away from Hawaii when I was only 13. I like begged my parents to stay with my grandparents. But after moving from Hawaii to Maryland, it opened up a different horizon for golf for
Okay.
me. It opened up college opportunities, more tournaments, because traveling from Hawaii to Maryland or Hawaii to the US was very difficult for us just the flight arrangements, hotel arrangements, car rentals. It was just a lot of money. But then moving here, it gave me the opportunity to just travel by car and just expand my junior career.
Yeah, so being a a young girl, growing up in Hawaii, did you look up to someone like, Michelle Lee, who's from Hawaii?
Definitely, I did a lot of I actually played in the Michelle Wee Tournament of Champions
Okay,
when I was 11, I think. And she was actually there to present the trophy to each division winners. And I got to meet her and got her autograph. And I still look up to her to this day, even though she's not playing golf anymore.
nice. Yeah, Michelle Lee, great ambassador for the game and for Hawaii golf. So, you started, golfing when your dad took you to the range at age 5, and you started competing, around age 9 and 10. So just tell me about, your start in the game.
Yeah, in the beginning, when I was 5, my dad took me to the range.
Mhm.
Was not interested in
Okay,
golf at all. I was running all over the place and I just wanted to go home. I didn't want to be there. But then my dad, he kept persisting and he told me to like hold a club and start swinging. And according to him, I had a natural swing. So from then on, I still wasn't really into it. I was more into like volleyball and other different sports. Both of my parents were volleyball players, so my dad put me in volleyball before I actually played golf, and I was supposed to be a setter,
Mhm.
but I could not jump to save my life. So golf was the next sport that I started to play, and finally fell in love with it and started playing in junior golf in Hawaii.
Mhm.
And I'm here now with golf, and I still love the game and still love where it took me.
Nice. So just tell me, tell me about, golf. What is golf like in Hawaii? And, in Hawaii, do you have a, tight-knit golf community there?
Yeah, we do. Growing up in Hawaii, we play golf year round. It's
Mhm.
80 degrees
Yeah.
during the winter. So, I mean, after school, we go to the golf course, practice, and like I said, the bunch of girls that I grew up playing with, we still keep in contact till today. I still see them. I used to see them at college events. Now I will probably see them in professional events. It's kind of cool to um, see where everyone progressed when we were kids, and now we're all pursuing our dreams of professional golf.
Nice. So I want to ask you two questions about the differences between Hawaii and Maryland. Obviously, Hawaii and Maryland are very different. The high today in Hawaii is, 79, and today in the East Coast, we're in a big snowstorm. So, the obvious, tell me, what was it like, dealing with the weather, especially the winters, moving from Hawaii to Maryland, and, what was it like, when you did, deal with your first winter in Maryland?
Yeah, I've never seen snow
Yeah.
before until I moved to Maryland, so that was the biggest thing. The first time I saw snow it was just flurrying. It wasn't even snow like this on the ground, and I was going insane because I wanted
Mhm.
to build a snowman.
Okay.
But after that, I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to the weather, but when I first moved here, it was a big change of like how am I going to practice, where I'm going to practice. Is my game going to be the same from when it was in the summer? So that's why the net that was built upstairs, or the hitting range that was built upstairs for me
Mhm.
to keep that momentum going from summer into winter.
Nice. Yeah, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, and moving to the East Coast. Yeah, seeing, buying winter clothes and, just seeing snow was, a different experience for me.
Yes.
Yes, we'll get into your success. You've had a lot of success, growing up in Maryland. You won 2 Maryland amateur championships, 3 junior championships, 2 Maryland Open championships, and you represented Maryland in a USGA state team championship. So we won't go through all your accomplishments. You have a list of them, but we'll go through a few. Um, you were the youngest winner of the Maryland Women's Amateur in 2015 at age 14. Do you know what did it mean to you, to be the youngest winner of the Maryland, Amateur, at age 14 in 2015? What did this mean to you? When
Yeah, at the time I didn't even know that I was the youngest to win the junior event, but looking back at it, just kind of just setting the tone for the next generation of golfers that will pass through, um, and kind of just like kind of leaving a legacy for the person that's next in line to win this trophy, have something to aspire to. But it was super cool to move from Hawaii to Maryland and just and do all of these things. It also very humbled me. It humbled me, moving from Hawaii to Maryland, because meeting all these girls, different girls at different levels, and getting a chance to play with them was super cool.
nice. So just tell me, what did it mean to you to, represent Maryland, play for your state rather than just yourself, what was it like to represent Maryland in, in a USGA state team championship?
But yeah, it was the best experience, to be a part of. I am so sad that they don't do this anymore. Um, but it just to like represent where you're from and to have that high honor and being proud to just be there and represent Maryland was super cool alongside Delaney Shaw. We both had a blast there. We both played very well. And it was just such a cool thing to like wear Maryland everywhere. um, our flag is pretty cool, and wearing it was even cooler just to be there. I also represented Hawaii
Okay.
in the state team. I think I was 12, but I wasn't really like into it at that time. But going back again and representing Maryland was the coolest thing ever.
Nice. So we have to talk about this past year's, Maryland Open. So you won the 2023 Maryland Open. You beat Delaney Shaw as we talked about. So, just talk about, your friendship with Delaney, getting to play with her, and, also tell me, how special was it to win this past year's, Maryland Open?
Yeah, it was a super like confidence booster. Again,
Mhm.
going into Morocco, knowing that again my game is like heading in the right direction, and knowing what I have to do before I go to Morocco. Um, that tournament was super special because my entire family was there. They watched me, and my boyfriend, who's also my caddy, play at Worthington Manor, and it was just a cool experience and cool to see where my game was at the moment. And playing with Delaney, like you said, we're really close. We still keep in contact. We go out and hang out besides golf. Our friendship is on like a different level, and
Nice.
I am so grateful that she's my one of my best friends. And she was actually the first person that I met while we were playing junior golf. So our friendship has blossomed ever since.
Nice. Congrats on all your success in Maryland. That's really awesome to see. I just
Thank
wanted to touch on, one of your accomplishments outside of Maryland. So, you won the 2017 North and South Junior Championship, at Pinehurst, great course. Then you finished second at the championship in 2018. So, just tell me about, experience playing this championship and, what was it like to win in 2017?
Yeah, it was a cool experience to be at Pinehurst, and there's so much history there that it was super cool to like walk down the same fairways that Michelle Wie walked down
Yeah.
when the US Open was there. And it was cool to like play Pinehurst number two. Um, and I will always remember after winning the junior event, my name will always be in the Hall of Fame there at Pinehurst. So
Okay.
I will always be there, which is super cool to just like always go back and see your name there, but also like know that a lot of people went through Pinehurst, and it was super cool to just experience that with my mom, um, who has no idea anything about golf, but she loves like being there with me. So it was pretty cool.
Nice. Congrats. So then you went on to play college golf at Ohio State. So, what drew you to Ohio State? Were you looking at any other schools? Were you pretty set on Ohio State? And, how special was your time, just getting to play at, Ohio State?
Yeah, Ohio State was actually not on my radar
Okay.
at all. And I had other schools lined up. Um, I was actually looking towards West Coast schools because I wanted to be closer to Hawaii.
Okay.
But I had I had just visited Princeton and Therese Hessian called and I missed her call, but she left a message saying that she wanted me to come and visit Ohio State. And I was like, I don't really want to go there. It's cold and I don't know if they like get to practice much or like any of that. And I didn't want to go. But my dad told me to go check it out and see if you like it or not. Um, my visit was over my birthday, October
Mhm.
28th. Um, we went to the Penn State game and we toured the school. I fell in love with the student athlete atmosphere, the student atmosphere, the amount of resources that Ohio State had. And like I felt like I was a part of a family when I went there. And that's what sold me. And on the night after the Penn State game, we went to dinner and I told Therese Hessian, Coach Hessian, that I wanted to be a Buckeye. And she was the best coach that I've ever had. But she was the main reason why I wanted to be a Buckeye.
Nice. So you earned Big Ten Freshman of the Year honors, your freshman year, and then you also played a fifth year. So I have two questions I wanted to touch on. You know, how special was it, to earn Freshman of the Year honors, going into college? You never know how it can go. So, how special was it, have success, your freshman year? And you played a fifth year, so, did you always think you wanted to play 5 years, or, did that just, end up happening? Tell me about, playing a fifth year at Ohio State.
Yeah, after COVID happened, they granted us a one more year if we
Yep.
wanted to take it. And I was not ready to let go of being a Buckeye, and I committed again to the team that I I had some unfinished business that I wanted to take care of before I leave Ohio State. So that was the main reason why I stayed, and I loved every moment of it. Um, Ohio State is always going to be near and dear to my heart. Um, but after freshman year, winning freshman of the year, I was ecstatic. I coming off of my junior career and going into college, I was kind of skeptical of how I would be with my game, but I just took off and went with it, and the result was being freshman of the year, and it was a super cool experience to receive that award my first year at college.
Nice. And final question about your college career, just, how special was your time at Ohio State? And how much did you enjoy, getting to represent the Buckeyes?
Um, every single day was the best day whenever I was at Ohio State. Like I said, Coach Hessian made the atmosphere for our team the best possible atmosphere that she could do.
Mhm.
She treated everyone individually as their own person, and she made everyone feel equal. And that's the reason why I kind of went there. And I just love Ohio State.
Mhm.
Um, Hands down, always will be a Buckeye. Buckeye forever.
Nice. So I want to touch on, an incredible experience for you. You got to play in the 2021 U.S. Open. You earned medalist honors, in qualifying in Alexandria, Virginia, and then you played in the 2021 U.S. Open. Just tell me, how incredible was your experience getting to play in the 2021 U.S. Open, and just tell me, what was it like to earn medalist honors in qualifying, for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, during that time, it was my number one goal to try to make it to US Open.
Mhm.
And my game was trending in the right direction. And I drove in from Ohio to Virginia just to play in that event.
Okay.
And I told my mom that I wanted her to caddy for me. And she did. She carried my bag for 36 holes. and I came on top with that win, and I was overwhelmed. I was crying, and I was so happy that I finally got into the US Open. And then being there was a whole nother experience.
Hmm.
I I didn't know how to handle it then because I was only 21 and I didn't know if I could exceed. So I was a little nervous going into the US Open, and but just being there, being surrounded by my idols, my role models was the coolest experience. I got to play with Allison Lee during the first and second round. She gave me a lot of tips. And also the US Open champion was Yuka Saso. And we were friends ever since junior golf playing in AJGA. So it was
Nice.
kind of cool to see her win.
Nice. That's awesome. Congrats on playing on that US Open, and I hope you can qualify maybe for a couple more going forward with your career.
Thank you.
That was awesome. So you also, 2022 US Open qualifying didn't work out the way you wanted to, but you know, just what was it like to play, in 2022 US Open qualifying, at your, college home course, the Ohio State, golf course, and also you finished as, an alternate with fellow Hawaiian, Allison Corpuz, as you mentioned. You grew up playing with her, so just tell me about, getting to play in US Open qualifying at your college home course, and finishing, alternate with a fellow Hawaiian.
Yeah, playing at home on the turf that I know, I was pretty confident going into that US Open qualifier,
Mhm.
but just coming up a little short
Yeah.
was it was okay. I took it well, but I playing against Allison for that final spot, it was just like old times that we were playing against each other. She is a great person to be around. I was a little nervous playing against her, but she reminded me that we're still going to be friends after this is all done. So after that that uh, that hole, we actually went to dinner and we got food together, and she told me that um, there's going to be more opportunities for me, and that she'll always be cheering me on. But I missed it by one, and she's now a US Open winner,
Yeah.
and I'm super happy for her.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Yeah, I was just touching that. How happy are you for Allison, winning this past year's U.S. Open, and how happy are you just to see, fellow Hawaiian, have success and win a U.S. Open?
yeah, I was actually I watched every single day, and I was
Okay.
following her, and I was taking videos. I would send it to her dad. And then at when she was finally settled down, I actually gave her a call and like congratulated her. She's the best person to be around. She's the best role model for me. I always looked up to her when I was younger, when I was like 10, 11, playing with her and against her. She's always been that role model for me.
Nice. So we'll continue with your 2022 season. You advanced to 2022 U.S. Amateur Championship in a unique way. You advanced by making a 40-foot putt on the fifth playoff hole, to advance to the U.S. Amateur Championship. So, just tell me about, that playoff, making the 40-foot putt, advance to the championship.
Yeah, crazy story. So my boyfriend's on the bag with me,
Hmm.
and I think it's the fourth playoff hole, and my rangefinder dies.
Okay.
And he had to walk off the yardage, but we kept to the plan. We kept hitting the same clubs off the tee, and um, but when the time came, we I capitalized on that, making a 40-foot putt. I didn't even know that I was gonna make it. I was just trying to lag it up there so that I would have a tap in putt. But finishing on that high note was super cool for the both of us to to be a part of. And he's my full-time caddy, so he'll be caddying for me on tour for the LAT, WAPT, all of those events. He's a great asset for my
Nice.
golf game. But yeah, it was super cool.
Nice. So then, yeah, you advanced to the 2022 U.S. Amateur. You had a super cool experience. You defeated, reigning U.S. Amateur champion Jensen Castle in the round of 64, and you advanced to the round of 16. Just tell me about the 2022 U.S. Amateur Championship. What was it like to defeat the, reigning champion, and also what was it like to, advance to round of 16?
Yeah, so playing at Chambers Bay
Yeah.
was super cool.
Mm,
But playing against Jensen, before we even started the round, we're friends and we played against each other in college.
mhm,
But before the round started, we were like, hey, it's
mhm,
another round. Like whoever wins, we're still gonna be friends after.
mhm,
And on that last hole, I just gave it my all. I played safe after hitting into the bunker off my tee. I played it out to the middle of the fairway, had like 195, 190 in, and stuck my 4 iron to like 6 feet. And I knew we were both feeling the nerves going into the last hole because again, she was the reigning champion, and I was just playing golf with my caddy, with my boyfriend. And after after winning that match, um, gave her a big hug, told her good luck with everything, and that I'm proud of her. And she said the same thing back to me. And we're still friends to this day. And but it was kind of a cool experience to win that match.
nice. So also in 2022, you got to play in the Augusta National Women's Amateur. So, what was your experience like getting to play in this, in this, amateur championship? And, what was it like to play around at, Augusta National?
It was the coolest thing to walk those fairways, to um just to embrace everything, that all the history that has happened on that golf course. Um, I know that a lot of the like women golfers aren't allowed to be there, so being there and playing on that golf course was a dream come true. My
Nice.
mom was there with me, walking alongside me, and just to experience that with her, was amazing. My dad also came the year before with my grandfather, and we all had a blast just being there and experiencing what Augusta National was all about. So yeah, I would die to go back there again, but just having those memories and those pictures that I would sneak in was the best.
Nice. That's awesome. Um, so 2021, you won the Jenny K. Wilson Invitational, in your native Hawaii. So how special was it, to win this tournament, in your, home state of Hawaii? And, do you get to go back to Hawaii very often or not too much these days?
Um, so I actually went back last summer, and I took my boyfriend with me to experience Hawaii. My family still lives there, so that was the last time I went back, but I don't go back often. It's very far to travel to
Yeah, sure.
Hawaii. But yeah, winning the Jenny K in front of my entire family was a cool experience. And that tournament was before the US Open, so I got practice in like wind practice. Hawaii is very windy. So but yeah, just playing in that tournament and winning in front of a home crowd was super cool. And a lot of the tournament directors that were there did not recognize me at first, but when they announced my name, they automatically knew who I was. So it was kind of cool to be back in an environment that was close to home.
Nice. I also wanted to ask you in 2017 at the U.S. Women's Football Championship, you and your teammate, fellow Maryland native Faith Choi, you shot a record low score of 60 in this four-ball championship. So tell me, what was it like to shoot this record low score of 60 in the in the U.S. four-ball championship? And just tell me, about your partner Faith Choi, from Maryland. Just tell me about getting to play with her. Not only in these championships, but you also play with her at Ohio State. So just tell me about your friendship with Faith and getting to play with her.
Yeah, so the night before that event, So I did not have a practice round. I flew in. It was just after the Big Ten championship. And I flew in that night. The next morning we had the tea time. And I told Faith, just give me like a short rundown of the golf course, where I have to hit it, because I had no idea what I was going into. And she did. She made sure that I knew what hole, like where the holes go, if there's water, if there's trouble,
Mhm.
anything like that. And she, I think, I'm not sure how old she was at the time, but being at that age, she was very composed and very calm. She helped me a lot during that time. And shooting 60 was just the cherry on top. Um, and I'm pretty sure we still have that record. I don't think anyone has beaten that yet, but it was definitely a legendary day for the both of us to make history with shooting 60 in the four ball and then making it to match play.
Nice.
And at the time, I was recruiting her to come on, go to Ohio State,
Mhm.
and eventually she did. She committed to Ohio State. I knew she would love it. Um, but yeah, we've been friends ever since I moved to Maryland. She was the second person that opened up to me, and we started our friendship in 2014, 15, and we've been really close ever since. I still follow her at Ohio State, her progress. We still keep in contact, and whenever she's home, sometimes like if I'm home, we'll go and hang out and catch up. So,
Nice.
but yeah, it's cool to see where she is now.
Yeah, scoring records are really, cool, but I really like hearing about, the friendships you made through golf. So that's awesome. In a small
Yep.
state like, Maryland, you have a lot of, great players, yourself, Faith, Delaney. So that's awesome. You have a lot of friends, from Maryland. So I have two more questions. What do as a professional golfer, what do you enjoy most about golf? How do you see yourself progressing as a golfer? And where do you see your professional career, going forward?
Yeah, just being a professional golfer, there's this sort of platform that you have to kind of encourage younger golfers to pursue their dreams in golf and to keep going with it. And so I've actually done a bunch of junior camps. One of them was Southern Maryland Junior Golf Association. I would go down there and be an example of where golf can take you. And it's cool to see like little kids like light up when they hit the ball well or they're playing well, but also like encourage them when they're not doing their best. And when I was also in Morocco, there was a junior camp going on, and their leader or their captain, he told me that these kids are playing here for free. They have a free membership, but they're from another village. They have to come from a very far distance. And I got the chance to take pictures with them and show them about golf and sign some balls for them because they're the next generation coming up for golf. And I just love being a part of something small that I can make an impact in for junior golf.
Nice, you've touched on it, but yeah, my final question will get into, talking about growing the game of golf. So, you've worked at junior camps, you said Southern Maryland, Golf Association. You've also worked at junior camps, at the links at Gettysburg, Just tell me, given that you've worked with juniors, you several occasions, how do you think we can grow the game of golf, especially, get more juniors involved, playing the game of golf?
Yeah, eventually, when my career in pro golf takes off a little, I actually want to like start a clinic for golfers in Samoa in Hawaii. Not a lot of Polynesian golfers besides like Tony Finau. who's on the PGA tour.
Yeah.
Not a lot of Polynesian golfers are on tour, so I really want to do that. I aspire to do that, and I hope that eventually like this will happen. But I just want to inspire Polynesian and junior golfers aspiring to play golf and not be scared to try it because a lot of people think that it's like an old man sport, but it's a long-term sport and you can get more out of golf, life skills, just a lot of things come with golf, and I just want kids to know more about the game of golf